morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your geographical location. By now, most of us or most of you must have heard the news that the Ekiti court has granted Dele Farotimi bail. This is according to SAR report on YouTube. This is between the case, the issue of Dele Farotimi books that he wrote and his arrest, subsequent arrest. So he's been granted bail, which we thank God for, regardless of whether we like him or we don't like him or we agree with the way things has gone. Uh, but the question before what is, or the topic is beyond Dele Farotimi versus Afe Babalola. Uh, what do I mean by that? By that, I mean that what about those other Nigerian citizens, the hundreds and the thousands of them who are what who are walloping in jail at the moment, or awaiting trial, or behind the police cell? What happened to them? Now, the justice system is definitely biased, or there's bias in the justice system. And what does that mean? Uh, when a bias is alighted, this is what it says here. Okay. One constitutional right, excuse me, right, a defender hold is that of fair trial. And you will agree with me that the issue of fair trial does not exist in our judicial system. Included with his right is to have a judge with no actual bias against defendant, nor interest in the outcome of the defendant's case. A judge should never act as a defendant proponent or opponent in any given case. When a defendant in a criminal case claims that the judge shows bias, the record from the trial is reviewed to see if the defendant was deprived of his or her due process. The emphasis here that I want to highlight is due process. You will also agree with me that in many cases in Nigeria, due process are never followed or is not followed, and that always creates problem. So Dele Farotimi has been freed. Again, the question is, what happened to those who are walloping in cell in behind bars? His business continues as usual. It doesn't affect the price of rice. It doesn't affect the cases that are currently being heard, or the cases that have been heard in the past. Things still continues. And whose fault is this? No one else but what? But the citizens, which is you and I. Dele Farotimi and Babalola are just one individuals who who happens to come into light at this time. Again, I'll keep asking these questions. What happened to those, your brothers and my sisters, who are wallowing in prison cells, who have not their cases have not been heard, who even when given bail cannot afford to pay the bail? What happens to them? We are all celebrating the bail, or those who are celebrating the bail is celebrating his bail, his release. How does this change the trajectory? How does this affect the injustice, the biases highlighted in the judicial system? Is it the case that we are doing it for fame or for gain? Things will not change, or things has not changed. After today, Christmas is around the corner. After Christmas, everything goes backward to normal, if not what? To if not everything remains the same, if not to worse. So when are we, the citizens, going to rise up and start to challenge our government and take our country over? When are we going to rise up? Recently, or 2 days ago, I think it was yesterday, some Nigerians were protesting on X Space or on Space X, which is a former Twitter. They took to protest on Twitter rather than protesting physically or taking over what, over the government, the citizens against the government. Because well, because it is our government. It doesn't belong to someone else. Those in prisons, the hundreds and the thousands who don't have a voice, who can write a book, who fight for them. It should be you and I that should be fighting for them. Those who have died or they've used their head to exchange in prison, what happens to them? Who review their cases? Or who is going to review their cases? Of course, the judicial bias has been existing long before now, and it was displayed during the 2023 general election. What did we do? Nothing. We did nothing. So, what makes us think that this Dele Farotimi uh, book or its highlight is going to change anything if we, the citizens, just sit down there? All we do is to buy the book and read the book and take no action. Ain't going to change nothing. I'm a great believer of the country. And I was talking to a friend a few days ago, and they said, you know what, the country is gone, it's gone for good. I couldn't agree less with him, sadly. So what happened next? Beyond Dele Farotimi versus Afe Babalola. The constitution is there. Our lawmakers are there, enjoying the money that it never worked for. And yet the millions Nigerians who are living in abject poverty, who did nothing or we are doing nothing about it. We just take things as it goes, and we want a better nation. No, it's not possible. We cannot get a better nation until the citizens rise to say, you know what, this is what we want. We are the one that will create that better nation, not the government. Not those in that position of leadership will create that better government for us. We are the one that will create that. I'm not against him writing any book or anyone writing any book. No, I didn't say that. I'm not against fame or gain. However, the intention behind this fame and gain is what matters at the end of the day. How about the street hawkers, the drivers, the conductors, or the those who suffer in the hands of police brutality, collecting bribe from them every blessed day? What happens to them? Who fight for them? So this injustice that we are talking about, we don't need to wait for another Dele Farotimi Afebabalola case and start buying books, thinking that that will solve our problem. If we, the citizens, do not rise up, particularly those of us in diaspora who have access, if you look at the statistics, or if you ask Amazon to give you statistics of those who bought the book, they will tell you that it is those in the diaspora that bought the book most, not those in Nigeria. Who cares in Nigeria? How many people bought the books in Nigeria? Because what they are thinking is where they will get the next meal. And it's sad because when somebody starts to think, where will I get the next meal? That person become powerless. That person will not care what is happening around his or her environment. That person is prone, open, to temptation. Because why? What they think in their head is where the next meal is coming. But you and I in diaspora, we don't think where the Most of us, I beg your pardon, we're not thinking where the next meal is coming because we know it will come. If it doesn't come from it, it will come from the government. But don't forget the citizens made the government put them on their toes. But what do? All we do every day in and day out is to scream, is to shout, is to call our leaders rubbish and idiots, call them names. We are abusive without taking action. What has the abuse changed? What has it changed so far? Over the years, what has that abuse changed? And it's sad to see the country bleeding to death. And the citizens also brings to mind the children of Israelite when they ask, when they're by the riverside, Babylon, there we sat down and there we heard, when we remember Zion. For the wicked carried us away captivities, requires of for us a song. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? That's just our mentality right now. We're sitting by the riverside, Babylon, feeling helpless, feeling useless, feeling, oh, say Sarai, what will be. That's the way we go about. Without realizing that to change the country is in our hands. That change will not come through the ballot box. Sadly, it won't come through the ballot box. And truth be told, it will come through when the citizens rise up in terms of what revolting against this people who claim, these evil, wicked people who claim to be what? To be representing us. That is where the change will come from. As they always say, change comes from within. So it is within us, it is within in that country that that change will come, not from outside. If we don't think about ourselves, let's think about our children and generation yet to be born. Let's put our selfishness aside for once and let's focus on what? On other people's needs, particularly generations that are yet to be born. What happened beyond Dele Farotimi and Babalola? We've seen many, let's be realistic here. We've seen many Dele Farotimis and Babalola in the past. And we equally will see many that will come. A lot will come. By next year, another one will come. But our situation in the country remains the same. You go to the airport, you see the immigration officers asking you for bribes. And some of us in diaspora will bribe them. And we say we want a change. Until we stop this foolishness, no change will come. Until we all stand on our feet and throw eyeball to eyeball, shoulder to shoulder, telling them no, we no longer giving bribe. Then we will now know that the revolution has started. But as long as we continue to give each other or to give them, forget about their asking, as long as we continue to give them, give into their demand, they will never ever listen to us, nor take us serious. The solution is not coming from any foreign country, either from America or Britain, or coming from Kevin Badenoch, or whether we have the Biafra nation, or we have the Yoruba nation, or we have the Fulani. No, the solution is not there. The solution is if you and I are ready to change our mindset and are ready to take the bull by the horn, which is the government, and are ready to stand up and say, enough is enough. Again, I ask, what happened to those who do not have voice? To those wallowing in prison, in our jails, in Nigerian jails and prison, the brutality of the police. For those who suffer daily in the hands of police on the road, for the market women, for the hawker, for the carpenter, for everyone who suffers this injustice, this biasness every day. It's beyond Dele Farotimi and Afe Babalola. Soon we may hear Afe Babalola, even though life is in the hands of God, given to his age, is going to pass. Anybody can die anytime, but I'm just going by his age right now. If we go by his age, he's going to die before me or die before Dele Farotimi. But the problem is still there. The injustice, this unbiases is still there. And as long as this biases and injustice is there, and you and I are not ready to do anything about it, we're going to sit down here and be talking every day. But whatever we do, it should not be for fame and for gain. And if it is for fame and for gain, let the intentions be right. I'm not against gain. Like I said earlier, neither am I against fame. Because you do business, you expect to gain. Your business can go to a certain point, you gain the fame. But what is the intention behind this fame and gain? When millions and thousands and hundreds of Nigerians are in prison cell. Some, I'm telling you, they've used their head to exchange. What do I mean by that? A rich man will come and exchange their head for somebody else because they don't want their own people to be in prison. Brothers and sisters, my fellow Nigerians at home and abroad, let's save this country, please. So, this is a plea that we're making. We have no any other one. Our children that we have, those of us in diaspora, our children are completely lost. Their heritage is gone. Some can, not some, most can't even speak our dialect. Last Saturday, I went for, I attended a church program in a school, and I saw these Japanese people having a special school on a Saturday for what? For their children, promoting their own heritage. I was amazed. Now, they are in a foreign land. And their country is equally good. It's not that bad. So until we come together, put our differences together, and recognize that there's one thing that what that unites us. We have what we have a basis of what of unity between us, a ground, a common ground. I beg your pardon. We all have a common ground, and until we come to that point, and I agree on that point, that we have a common ground, then we can go and do this together. If not, the wind will blow Dele, Farotimi, and Afababalola away, and things will remain as it is. My heart bleeds, honestly speaking. And I know, like many of you, your heart bleeds for motherland, for a land that we are proud of, a land that we are associated with, our heritage, and we see it going down the drain every day. Certainly, your heart will bleed. But it's not just for our heart to bleed and we just leave it like that and bleed to death. No, it's for us to do something. What can we do? What can we do? This is to citizens. It doesn't matter whether you're a human right or you're a human left or a human forward or a human backward. We are all in this boat. Let us rise up and take the bull by the horn. These people you see in authority, they ain't going anywhere. They ain't going to hand over nothing in their conscience will say, let me repent and let me do right by the people. No, I don't see that happen. I know there's nothing God cannot do, but I'm speaking from a human point of view. I don't see these people changing, but rather getting worse every day. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging us. Let's do something. Let us do something. Thank you.